Sucks it's in a plastic bottle. As a matter of fact, just about everything sucks. Later, Gator. Later, Gator. It's ironic because I had gator for lunch today. That's all I ate. Alligator. What's a stamp and a pretty girl have in common? You gotta lick it before you can stick it. Yeah, it's kind of weird today. I didn't really feel healthy, which isn't very unusual. Pretty typical, actually. And, you know, this guy in a wheelchair, I was at a local hospital today, he actually looked over to me. His name was Fred, and Fred looked at me and he said, "Hey, see, look here, guys." He said, "You're lucky, Buster." He said, "You're a lucky chump, because I could walk and I could talk and I could move my arms, and the dude only had the flu. He acted like he was paralyzed, for freak's sake." And when I say old, I mean old. And this beer tastes terrible. Yeah, he was an old booger, an old buzzard. I just can't believe how popular. I'm more popular in politics. I'm more popular than the NBA and the professional baseball league combined. I am so unpopular. Very unpopular. Did I just say popular? I should just slap myself across the face, silly. I didn't even mean that. I meant, even though it's not topsy-turvy day, every day feels like it is, but don't ask me why. Have you guys ever been to a playground before and went down a slide after the rain and then the sun comes out? Because guess what? The grass gives off water when it's damp and muggy, humid. And so after the next day, after it rains, if you're at a park and you go down a slide, I swear, this happened to me, true story. My shorts actually stuck to the slide, and I almost was caught in the middle, and all of a sudden this dear old lady just runs up to me, tries to offer me help, and I'm like, "Oh, it's okay, it's okay." No, I say, "Oh my God, help me, help me, help me, help me," because I'm stuck there like a giraffe, stuck in a safari while people are in a safari, and in a mud bath, and I can't move. I'm like looking here, looking there, left, right field, back field, and I can't do anything. I can't do jack shit. So a lovely dear lady helps me, and only to make add insult to injury, somehow, some way, somehow, the Good Samaritan trying to help me. Let's take turns being Good Samaritans, people. Let's take turns. There should be safety zones in parks. Guess what happened? I dislocated my pinky. I dislocated my pinky because of that lady. But I'm not going to tell you what happened because it's ridiculous. You guys would crack up. God forbid if I could make you guys crack up. So I had to go on this long journey because of my job, and it ended me up 40 miles of where I should have been because I missed my lunch, I missed my date, I even had a potential date, but that flopped, and so I ended up somewhere. It was like a typical company meeting kind of thing, and the boss sits there and he's all upset. Ooh, he said, "You guys are lazy, you guys can't produce what I want you guys to produce," the whole spiel. And then one guy looks over at the boss and he says, "Dream work makes the team work. There is no I in team because there's me. There's me in team. Get it?" Because he said he was such a hard worker, this guy, apparently. He said, "Oh, I build homes, I build hotels, I've been a construction worker my whole life," and blah, blah, blah. And then the owner looks over at him and says, "Well, son, I commend you for all your hard work and stuff, but I'm gonna relinquish my position right now, and you're gonna take my job." That's what the boss said. So it turns out that the boss let that guy be the boss. So that boss was no longer the boss. I thought that was kind of funny. He demoted himself for this dude, and I think his name was Sam, maybe, but don't ask me. I don't know. Very convincing. Hey, some people have a way with words. Way with words. Some people just have a way with words. I mean, did you hear about in the Amazon? There's these ants. Um, Not to change the subject, but ants just trickling along the grass. I'm like, oh, and they could devour anything in their path. And I think, oh my God. Last thing, sometimes I wish I could be in the path when a hot Amazon girl watches me and laughs at me while I'm struggling and says, ha ha ha. That would maybe turn me on a little bit. But apparently these ants are so vicious. They're almost like miniature great white sharks. The only difference is you throw an ant in the ocean, the ant he ain't gonna swim. He's gonna swim like a rock. You throw a rock in there, you know what a rock does. Yeah, ants can't. Ants don't like the water. Actually, there are water bugs though that do, like tadpole. They attack them things. Yeah, tadpoles. And then the spiders are so smart. They actually make webs, and they don't even they don't script it. Like I don't script my my delivery and my techniques when I do comedy. I don't script that. That's just something that I produce, just like in how just like a spider making a web. I make my own web, but I can't get out of my web. I feel like I'm in a trap. Thanks. I'm pointing at me. Not be lucky, because you're lucky you're not me. Be grateful and thankful, guys. But you know, man, they don't make beer like they used to. I'll tell you what, they're slacking, half-assing it. They're not doing what they should do. But hey, sign of the times, though. Everything is kind of crooked now. I just let me talk about this girl I once knew. Her name was Abby. Her name was Abby, and she was a very nice lady, and she was a cashier at an outlet store. So one day this guy goes up, he's checking out, he has items he's going to check out. He goes up to Abby and he says, "Here, this is my stuff." He put it on there, and just like a regular customer, and Abby turns around and looks at him and says, "Hey, well, I noticed your sunglasses are just like so amazing, almost like, kind of California uh, quality sunglasses." And he says, "Why, thank you." And she's like, "Well, you're welcome. Is there any chance that we could maybe, get together and everything?" And he looks at the ground and is like, contemplating it. And then he looks up to her and she's like, "Well, what? Well, so?" She wants an answer. She wants to, get an answer from this guy. So Abby's just sitting there patiently waiting, and her smile turns to a frown, and her frown turns to a really angry face. I don't blame her, because she was like 500 pounds, about 4'2", like a midget. Guy did the smart thing and just ran out of the store. I would have done the same thing. Thanks, Abby. You guys, if you guys are straight, trust me, you don't want to be in that predicament. Well, thank you for watching here. It's time to go. This stuff is gross.